Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the stream. My name is Caleb Hawkins. If you're new, this is my Friday night show that I do on YouTube. The show that is perfect if you have nothing better to do. I've been sitting around mostly working on tracks for Troy Lesureur's next album. Actually, I believe it would be Troy's debut EP. And been playing a lot of dobro and fiddle and stuff, and it's been a lot of fun. These are all brand new original songs. I can't wait to share them with you. But it also sparked some interest in going back to some kind of forgotten material that I haven't performed in a while. And in doing so, I found myself drawn to some old Carter family tunes, and so I thought I would try to play a couple of those tonight. This one I needed to pull up some lyrics for, but anyway, welcome to the stream. Frank, I see you there. It looks like I got about 8 folks in the chat. If you want to go ahead and drop a comment, tell me where you're tuning in from tonight, because inquiring minds always like to know. And fun fact, always like to see what you guys are having for a snack tonight. That's always a lot of fun too. So this is called I'm Going Where There's No Depression. For fear the hearts of men are falling, these are latter days we know. The Great Depression now is spreading. God's word declared it would be so. I'm going where there's no depression, to a better land that's free from care. I'll leave this world of toil and trouble. My home's in heaven, I'm going there. This dark hour, midnight nearing, the tribulation time will come. The storms will hurl the midnight fear and sweep lost millions to their doom. I'm going where there's no depression, to a better land that's free from care. I'll leave this world of toil and trouble. My home's in heaven, I'm going there. I'm going where there's no depression, to a better land that's free from care. I'll leave this world of toil and trouble. My home's in heaven, I'm going there. Some songs I feel like can transcend generations and can still remain relevant almost 100 years after their composition. And I feel like now more than ever that song is just as relevant as it's ever been. Anyway, good evening, everyone. Let's see here. We have some comments. Mega, greetings from Mexico. It is good to be here. I'm glad you're here as well. Phil Hawkins, that's my dad. I see you finally got the chat working. Great. James Smith, you're in Greensburg. You're eating no-bake cookies. Are you eating homemade ones, or are you getting the ones from the store that I'm always picking up every time I get turned loose on the grocery shopping? inquiring minds want to know. Anyway, I suppose I should say thank you to a few folks. Kyle Dillingham, he loaned me this beautiful Ear Trumpet Labs. This is the Louise microphone that I am performing with tonight, and I am really impressed with it. And I don't know, Kyle, if you're watching, it may be a while till you get this thing back. This is a truly tremendous microphone. I hope it sounds as good out in the stream as it does here in my in-ear monitors. And anyway, Jennifer Lemming. Jennifer, I am working on some lyrics. I need to get with you a little later. Probably next week will be when I get a chance to actually do anything. I've been singing that song that we've been working on in the car a little bit while I've been driving around. I was down in Bloomington, Indiana yesterday, and I had Patty with me. She joined me on the trip because of where I was going was going to be pretty dog friendly, and she got a 4-hour car ride all said and done. Poor dear, she was ready to get out of the car by the time we got home. Anyway, it is good to see everybody here. I never know who's going to show up to these things, and I'm always really impressed by the diversity of my crowd. I've got people from all over the country, it would seem. So from Mexico, Greensburg, Indiana, Bismarck, North Dakota. All right, so let's see here. I was doing some older material, and Frank, you're gonna love this one. You always used to egg me into doing this one sometimes, and I think you used to get me about, well, double the stage time at Ellie Beth's open mics at the now defunct Corner Coffee here in town, back about 15 years ago. This is a song I learned from a Smothers Brothers record, and if you don't like bad jokes, well, you better just go ahead and leave now. This is a story of Herman and Sally. Herman was a lobster and Sally was a crab. Legend has it that they were both prince and princess of the sea creature kingdom, and that they fell in love. And their story goes a little like this. Well, Herman met Sally on a beach one night. The sea was calm and the starfish were bright. He looked at her and she looked at him, and it was true love at first sight. So Herman told his folks about the girl he'd found. They said, Herman, there must be other girls around, 'cause crabs walk sideways and lobsters walk straight, and we won't let you take her for your mate. Well, poor Herman, he was in an awful bind. He loved Sally for the crab that she was. But in loving her, he was going to have to forsake his family and his rightful place in the lobster crown. So Herman told Sally, and it broke her heart. She had loved that lobster right from the start. She said, let me talk to your mom and dad. I'll show them crabs really aren't that bad. Well, they turned her away, what would the neighbors say? And they laughed at the funny walk she made. 2, 3, 4. Crabs walk sideways and lobsters walk straight, and we won't let you take her for your mate. Well, poor Herman, he was in an awful mess. He was really depressed. He was really down. And he did what a lot of young wayward men do. He turned to the music. He started playing Appalachian ballads on the banjo. He started flat picking the guitar. He started hanging out in sandbars and coffee joints. He met up with this bass player named Sam. Sam was, well, he was just a muscle, but he had a good sense of rhythm and a beautiful tone to his bass. They played Appalachian ballads. They played Western swing. They played the blues. They played rockabilly. Legend has it that they went on tour all across the sandbars to the tiki bars. They would just go coast to coast. Well, see, they tried to tour inland, and they tanked. And they even hired a manager at one point. This tuna fish claimed he had a really good ear, could tech their instruments and book the shows. But he started skimming money off the top. They said he got shellfish, so they canned him. Yeah, crabs walk sideways and lobsters walk straight, and we won't let you take her for your mate. Years went by when Herman and Sam, they booked themselves a hometown homecoming gig. They were playing at the same sandbar that they first met at, not very far from the school that Herman went to. And it was at that show that they had a family reunion, and everyone said, "We're so proud of you, son. You have made your way in the world, and you've made your way back." Herman couldn't forget the painful loss of his true love, Sally. And after the band performed their performance, he was standing out back of the venue. It was a beautiful moonlight. And they're walking along the corner of the beach there with little Sally. And she was watching Herman, and she was walking towards him just as straight as she could be. Well, Herman, he got all kinds of excited. Somehow, in all of her aging, Sally had learned to walk a straight line. Well, he took her in his closet and said, "Sweetheart, now I can take you and my family." She said, "Herman, that's a sweetheart, right?" 'Cause crabs walk sideways and lobsters walk straight, and I won't let you take me for your mate. Well, Herman, he hit an all-time low. They went back out on the ship, and they started touring all over again. Well, they played sandbars and tiki bars, weddings and bar mitzvahs. Somebody booked them in Hawaii, and they decided that it would be faster to fly out there. And on that flight, they had some engine trouble, and the plane caught fire and exploded in the sky. The parts of the ship, the airship that is, washed up on a beach. And the natives on that island tell this story. They said that Herman went to heaven and Sam went to hell. And they said it went something like this. After about 2 weeks of playing a harp, singing some songs, Herman got lonesome for his good friend Sam. They'd spent many years together on the road. And so he goes to St. Peter and he says, "Hey, I know I'm here and Sam is there, but is there any way I might visit my true friend down below? And St. Peter said, well, you know, we can give you the HMO plan here in heaven. You can stay for 2 weeks and then go to hell. He said, but Herman, he goes, you can take 1 or 2 instruments tops to go down there and jam. And you gotta be back before midnight, or forever be cursed to stand between heaven and hell. When the gates close, you won't be able to get through. So Herman, he grabbed his favorite guitar. He grabbed himself a harmonica. And they headed on down there to see Sam. When he got to the gates of hell, he inquired with Lucifer, I'm looking for my bass player. They said, well, come right on in. And they took him right to where Sam was. Sam was the all-night manager of a disco. Now, to a guy who could play upright bass at a high level, could play Appalachian ballads, highbrow jazz, and Delta blues, rockabilly, swing. Well, as you can imagine, how demoralizing it must be to be the all-night manager of a disco joint. But they had quite the sound system in there, and Herman and Sam, they had a good time playing with all the effects knobs and trying out all the lights. They even plugged his guitar into one of those effects units and made some really groovy sounds. And they were just catching up and having a good old time, at least as good a time as you can have in a disco joint in the middle of hell. But that clock just kept on ticking, and before Herman knew it, he had to go. So he headed off up that stairway just as fast as he could go. 'Cause crabs walk sideways and lobsters walk straight, and we won't let you take her for your mate. Well, Herman, he got to the gates of heaven and he pounded on the door, and St. Peter let him in, and he said, let me look at you, Herman. And he said to Herman, Herman, you seem to have gotten through there unscathed. I see you, I see your guitar, but I don't see your harmonica. Herman looked St. Peter right in the eye. He said, I left my harp in Sam Clam's disco. 'Cause crabs walk sideways and lobsters walk straight, and we won't let you take her for your mate. Alright, I only lost 2 viewers to that one. Alright, and I lost my monitor. Hang on, let me get back to here. Alright. Any requests that I know, feel free to drop those in the chat. I'm always happy to play a good song. Like I said, if I know it. I haven't played any fiddle yet. But, we're already 20 minutes into the stream and I've only played like 2 songs. So I suppose I should play a little fiddle. One of these times I'm going to have a fractional fiddle. Like I'm going to have one that's, just 2-3 inches long or something. And I'm going to pop up and tell you I'll play a little fiddle. What do you guys want to hear? I want to hear something Celtic. What does the heart desire? Oh, the girl I left, the girl I left, the girl I left behind me. If ever I cross that bridge again, I'll pick her up behind me. Well, last night I slept in a sycamore tree with the wind and the rain all around me. Tonight I'll sleep in a warm feather bed with the girl I left behind me. Oh, the girl I left, the girl I left, the girl I left behind me. If ever I cross that bridge again, I'll pick her up behind me. She jumped in the bed and she covered up her head and swore I could not find her. I knew damn well she lied like hell, so I jumped right in behind her. Oh, the girl I left, the girl I left, the girl I left behind me. If ever I cross that bridge again, I'll pick her up behind me. Oh, the girl I left, the girl I left, the girl I left behind me. If ever I cross that bridge again, I'll pick her up behind me. Going all the way back to the top 40 tunes of the 1860s right there. Anyway, Groundhog Frank. Oh man, you want to hear Groundhog? Oh man, I don't know if I ever have played that. Let me see if I play that at all. It's probably on the banjo. Let me see here. Brian Carver, are you around? We're playing one of Brian Carver's beautiful creations here again tonight. This is my nylon string banjo cello that Brian built for me. I'm going to super glue it if I ever get it in tune. This makes for riveting viewership, I know. Anyway. Brian is here. Welcome, Brian. Change the strings on this, and it rips a little bit more. Well, here comes Sally with a snigger and a grin. Here comes Sally with a snigger and a grin. Here comes Sally with a snigger and a grin. She got possum grease on her chin. Groundhog, groundhog. It's something like that, Frank. I'll have to work that up for another show. Next week, I will actually be performing a real-life show here in Indy. I will be performing down on the south side of town at Behringer's Tavern. It'll be, I think, 8 to 11. So for those of you who feel like coming out, I will be performing there. Let's see here. Move back to the guitar for a few, and then probably back to the fiddle again. Well, I'm not home yet, a long ways to go. Car's parked out on this interstate, but the tank is getting low. Got a half a chorus, the perfect verse. It doesn't rhyme, just makes sense. Painters paint, poets write, lovers love and liars leave. Liars leave. I got a half a chorus, the perfect verse. It doesn't rhyme, it just makes sense. They say in life we're only just as good as our regrets. I've got a few. And a half a chorus, the perfect verse. It doesn't rhyme, just makes sense. Well, I've been running for so long. I'm tired from my journey. I see redemption like a light in front of me. Like a light in front of me. I got a half a chorus, the perfect verse. It doesn't rhyme, just makes sense. Alrighty, well, we are already a half hour into the show, and like I've been saying, it's kind of one of the fastest 90 minutes of my week. It's usually probably made a little bit more expedient because I don't have to go anywhere. I'm not waiting to go home. I don't know. You tell me, folks. Brian Carver, yes, those strings do sound a little bit stronger. They're a very high tension nylon string. And I, of course, was using banjo picks, so that might have contributed something. But it's definitely louder and more powerful. Okay. Should I do something original or should I do another old tune? I'm kind of on the fence. Should I do something old? Thank you, Kevin. That's one of mine. It's slotted to come out sometime this year, hopefully. I've been trying to kind of strategize and see what makes sense for release. I had the album in the can right before the pandemic. I was sitting there mixing it during lockdown, and then as the year progressed, I actually received some treatment for tendonitis, and I can play all those songs a little bit better than I could on the recording. So I'm trying to decide if I should just recut them with the new fluid motion that I have in this hand. It's going to sound a little closer to what I can perform live now, or just what I should do. So I'm actually looking for advice on that one right now. The album itself is just me and an acoustic guitar, so it's kind of tough to really release the sort of the pandemic method of just putting out singles. I don't quite feel right about putting singles out like that. It's kind of tough to gain any traction. Anyway, I suppose I should go ahead and do some crass commercial messaging here and remind everybody to go ahead and subscribe if you're not already. Ring that little bell to let yourselves know when I'm going to be performing live the next time. I also do send out some behind the scenes stuff on my stories on Instagram, so if you want to follow me there, that's my handle. You can find me and some of the behind the scenes stuff that I sometimes post that'll lead you up to these live streams every Friday night until I have a live performance in real life. Anyway, aside from that, there is a link. I think we have it fixed now, so it should be actually live. It was kind of hanging there in dead space. If you go into the description down below, you can throw me a few dollars via PayPal to assist with keeping the lights on around here and keeping the production high. And it looks like we're probably going to have to raise some money to buy one of these microphones for myself, because I think Kyle is going to want this back eventually. Anyhow, all that being said, this is an old bluegrass standard called New River Train. Riding on that New River train. I'm riding on that New River train. That same old train that brought me here's gonna carry me away again. Now, darling, you can't love two. Now, darling, you can't love two. Well, you can't love two and still be true. Oh, darling, you can't love two. That New River train. I'm riding on that New River train. That same old train that brought me here is gonna carry me away again. Darling, you can't love three. Now, darling, you can't love three. Well, you can't love three and still love me. Oh, darling, you can't love three. For I'm riding on that New River train. I'm riding on that New River train. That same old train that brought me here's gonna carry me away again. Now, darling, you can't love four. Now, darling, you can't love for, well, you can't love for and love me anymore. Oh, darling, you can't love for. I'm riding on that new river train. I'm riding on that new river train. That same old train that brought me here's gonna carry me away again. Now, darling, you can't love five. Now, darling, you can't love five. Well, you can't love five and get out alive. Oh, darling, you can't love five. For I'm riding on that new river train. I'm riding on that new river train. That same old train that brought me here's gonna carry me away again. Oh, there's a lot of numbers in that song. I don't know. Music was a lot more fun until they started adding math to it. All right, I need to swallow a tea here. Anybody got any fun weekend plans? I have a show tomorrow night in Shelbyville, Indiana, for the fine folks over at Putter's, which is right there on the historic Shelbyville Circle. And looking forward to being out amongst the folks a little bit. Putter's is always kind of a laid-back environment, but I understand they have a new stage there, so excited to be taking the stage and sharing my craft with the folks there. As you can see, though, I have my shiny implement of mass distraction. This is my social distancing instrument. It works very well. It also works very well for birth control. Although there's been some controversy as to whether it's the banjo or my personality, but it's this is an old Bradley Kincaid tune. There it stands by the fire with its back to the wall. That old wooden rocker so stately and tall, with not to disturb it but dusting of broom, no one to use it in that parlor room. As she sat by the fire she would rock, 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 and she heard but the tick of the old grand clock. 80 years as she sat in that chair prim and tall, that old wooden rocker we all love so well. And we listened to the stories that Grandma would tell, how my poor aged grandpa in his battle fell. Beneath the stars and stripes he fought bravely and true. He cherished his freedom 'neath the red, white, and blue. As she sat by the fire she heard but the tick of the old grand clock. 80 years has she sat in that chair, prim and tall, that old wooden rocker we all love so well. Now Grandma is dead, all the stories are done. All her children have followed her, yes, one by one. They have all gone to meet her in the sweet by and by, and all that is left is my sister and I. As she sat by the fire, she would rock, 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 and she heard but the tick of the old grand clock. 80 years had she sat in that chair, prim and tall, that old wooden rocker we all love so well. Bradley Kincaid was probably one of the earliest folk singing heroes that we've had. He had quite the career. He recorded many 78 RPM records that are cherished by collectors today. He did everything from bluesy stuff to kind of funny novelty stuff. Some of it was, of course, probably not considered politically correct enough today to pass inspection, but, different times when people weren't offended by every little thing, so. Thank you, Brian. Let's see here. Any comments I missed? Okay. This goes out to my dear friend David Hudson and his family right now who are grieving his loss. I believe my steps are growing wearier of each day. Still I have a journey on my mind. The lures of this old world have ceased to make me want to stay, and my one regret is leaving you behind. I'll be waiting on the far side banks of Jordan. I'll be waiting, drawing pictures in the sand. And when I see you come, I will rise up with a shout and come running through the shallow waters, reaching for your hand. It's in there somewhere, Brian. Well, through the years we've labored hard to earn our meager fare. It's brought us trembling hands and failing eyes. But if it proves to be His will that I am first to go, somehow have a feeling it will be, then I'll just sit here on the shore and turn my eyes away. Until you come, then we'll see paradise. For I'll be waiting on the far side banks of Jordan. I'll be waiting, drawing pictures in the sand. And when I see you come, I will rise up with a shout and come running through the shallow waters, reaching for your hand. When it comes your time to travel over, likewise don't feel lost, for mine will be the first face that you'll see. I'll be waiting on the far side banks of Jordan. I'll be waiting, drawing pictures in the sand. And when I see you come, I will rise up with a shout and come running through the shallow waters, reaching for your hand. I'll be waiting on the far side banks of Jordan. I'll be waiting, drawing pictures in the sand. And when I see you come, I will rise up with a shout and come running through the shallow waters, reaching for your hand. All right. Well, we are working on that first hour. I'm going to bring Shadow out over here. Everybody's probably seen the live stream where I told the story of Shadow, my Mittenwald fiddle. But Shadow is an instrument that has taken a lot of tender loving care. It's about a 15-year story in the making with this instrument, and as the weather gets a little better, I'm thinking about making a little documentary about this instrument. We're going to try to go out to some locations and film and shoot, and hopefully I can share the story and talk about Mittenwald and hopes and dreams. This is a little tune that I've been kind of obsessed with for years, and finally, a couple of weeks ago, I just decided that enough was enough. I was going to actually learn how to play it, and it proved to be more challenging than I expected, but I genuinely like the tune, and I hope you do too. This is called Red Haired Boy. It's a little something I'm working on anyway. And, I don't know, I think it's going to end up being in rotation with a couple of other Celtic tunes that I play. And then, of course, there's always Whiskey Before Breakfast, which is what I use in the countdown. Of course, I played that on guitar. We got the camera having a little problem here. Hang on, folks. Hang on. We may have to preemptively end this show early if the camera dies. Oh no. It's not charging while it's sending the data. Oh boy. Catastrophic fail. I let the camera get a little under the weather before I jumped on to shoot. Hang on. Hang in there while I got like a half an hour left to go. There we go. Oh, technology. Well, if the camera dies, I don't have contingency plans, so let's try to get through just a little bit longer. It's probably lost 10% an hour, so it might be almost dead by the time we're done, but it should be okay. I've got it set on low power mode, so we'll see. Oh, where was I? We got 8 folks in the chat. Y'all are a quiet bunch tonight. You thought your phone was dying. Yeah, it'd be a good prank to play on, folks, I suppose. Put that up. I bet you all know this one. And if you're not singing along by the second chorus, I'm disappointed. Even though I can't hear you one way or the other. I am just a poor boy, though my story's seldom told. I squandered my resistance for a pocket full of mumbles, such are promises. All lies and jest, still a man hears what he wants to hear, disregards the rest. La la la, la 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 la, la 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 la. When I left my home and family, I was no more than a boy in the company of strangers, the quiet of a railway station, running scared, laying low, seeking out the poor quarters where the ragged people go, searching for the places only they would know. La la la, la 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 la, la 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 la. Asking only workmen's wages, I come looking for a job, get no offers, just to come on from the girls on 7th Avenue. I do declare, there were times I was so lonesome, I took some comfort there. La la la, la 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 Now I'm laying out my winter clothes and wishing I was gone, going home, where the New York City winters are bleeding me, going home. I'm going home. La la la, la 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 la, la 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 la. In a clearing stands a boxer and a fighter by his trade, and he carries the reminder of every glove that cut him till he cries out in his anger and his shame, I am leaving, yet the fighter still remains. La la la, la 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 la. La 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 la. Well, I am just a poor boy, though my story's seldom told. I have squandered my resistance for a pocket full of mumbles, such are promises. All lies and jest, still a man hears what he wants to hear, disregards the rest. Simon and Garfunkel, minus the everything. Oh man, let's see here. We got just a little bit more time before the battery dies on the phone that is being used as the battery for the camera. Well, that's not really true. What I'm using is an app called Shoot, and I'm able to use the really nice camera that's in my iPhone 11 and beam that to my computer where I have all this software that allows me to do all these cool little transitions and cool little things like, you know, put my name down here in the lower third and direct you to all those different things, and of course have this microphone plugged in so that we have the sound. I have actually been asked if I would do a tutorial about live streaming from a folk musician's standpoint, and that is something that I'm contemplating. If you're a musician in the audience tonight and you would like a little bit of a crash course in how I'm doing this whole setup, I'd be happy to put that together. So send me a message, drop me a note in the chat, something. Oh, I feel like playing some more fiddle, something different. This is Rise of the Five Strings, of course, and I do play five-string fiddles predominantly throughout my live shows because I like the range and I like the sound. And, this is my cross-tuned fiddle. It's set up so I can kind of do some pretty funky stuff. We're going to get a little funky here. I'll tell you what I would do. I'd quit my sinning and I'd work on a building too. I'm working on a building. I'm working on a building. I'm working on a building for my Lord, for my Lord. It's a Holy Ghost building. It's a Holy Ghost building. It's a Holy Ghost building for my Lord, for my Lord. tell you what I would do. I'd quit my gambling and I'd work on a building too. I'm working on a building. I'm working on a building. I'm working on a building for my Lord, for my Lord. Tell you what I would do. I'd quit my drinking and I'd work on a building too. I'm working on a building. I'm working on a building. I'm working on a building for my Lord, for my Lord. Well, if I was a liar, I'd tell you what I would do. I'd keep my story straight. I'd work on a building too. I'm working on a building. I'm working on a building. I'm working on a building for my Lord, for my Lord. Well, if I was a preacher, I'd tell you what I would do. I'd preach a good book and I'd work on a building too. I'm working on a building. I'm working on a building. I'm working on a building for my Lord, for my Lord. Yeah, it's a little something different. It's kind of a strange tuning to some, and that note I think is actually a little flat now. Should I do a little bit of a brief fiddle lesson? I think I shall, because there's this kind of a lost fiddle style in a lot of fiddle circles. And it can actually get you disqualified in some contests, which of course the contrarian in me just loves that. So a normal fiddle is tuned high to low, E, A, and D, G, and if you got a C string like I do, you have a C, down there on the low end. But the way I've got this one set up is I've got it D, G, D, G, and then I'll raise that C string up to a D. So it gives you octave sets. And it allows you to get some really funky, groovy sounds. You can switch octaves interchangeably. So anyway, there's probably not very many fiddle players in the audience, if any. So I'm probably going to stop beating a dead horse with fiddle lessons and just play some tunes. Something like that. You can see it has its applications. Anyhow, I'm going to play us out of here. We only have about 15 minutes, which hopefully the battery on the camera will hold up. Do a Stompin' Tom Connors tune that I discovered late last year and fell in love with. Y'all have been really quiet tonight. I hope you're still listening. I know some folks just kind of put me on the big screen TV in their house, and that's mood music for the night. And I can certainly feel grateful to be included in what you do to keep yourselves entertained. As a friend of mine said, it's not that I don't want to go out, there's just nothing worth going out to at the moment. I can certainly relate at the moment. This is the legend of Little Wawa. Little Wawa was a wild goose from the Southlands flew in a V-shaped line of wild geese with a lover gander goo, a lover gander goo. Little Wawa, little Wawa. They flew across North Michigan to see the sights below, for they were on their honeymoon to North Ontario, to North Ontario. Little Wawa, little Wawa. Honk honk said little Wawa, honk honk my gander goo. Goose talk, that means I love you and I always will be true. Will be true. You know, I'm always painfully aware of my southern accent with this song. Well, the night was fast approaching. There came a hissing sound. It was an arrow from an Indian's bow, and gander goo fell down. Gander goo fell down. Little Wawa, little Wawa. Honk honk said little Wawa, honk honk my gander goo. Your goose talk, that means I love you and I always will be true. I always will be true. Well, the geese they kept on flying, but Wawa would not go. She went to find her lover in the bushland down below. Bushland down below. Little Wawa, little Wawa. The goose that died from heartache, a legend she became. Now she'll live forever in the town that bears her name, the town that bears her name. Little Wawa, little Wawa. Honk honk said little Wawa, honk honk my gander goo. Goose talk, that means I love you and I always will be true. I like that lick. I'm going to play that again. It's my show. So if you see her statue off Highway 17, you'll know that you're in Wawa, and her love song you will sing. Her love song you will sing. Little Wawa, little Wawa. Honk, honk, said little Wawa. Honk, honk, my gander goo. And goose talk, that means I love you, and I always will be true. Always will be true. You little Wawa, little Wawa. Alrighty. Oh, bumping stuff together off camera. Alright. Sounds worse than it was, believe me. By the banks of the roses, me love, and I sat down, and I took out me violin to play me love a tune. In the middle of the tune, oh, she sighed and she said, lovely Johnny, won't you leave me? I'm no runaway, I'll soon have you know that I can take a bottle look and leave it alone. And the man who doesn't like me, he can leave his daughter at home. And Johnny will go rolling with another. By the banks of the roses, me love, and I sat down, and I took up me violin to play me love a tune. In the middle of the tune, oh, she sighed and she said, oh, Johnny, lovely Johnny, won't you leave me? Would have been handier to do this on my chincello. There we go. Liz, welcome to the live stream. Lord, I'm one, Lord, I'm two, Lord, I'm three, Lord, I'm four, Lord, I'm 500 miles away from home, 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 Lord, I'm 500 miles away from home. Got no shirt on my back, not a penny to my name. Lord, I can't go back home this away. This away, this away, this away, this away. Lord, I can't go back home this away. It's a workout to play this thing. Because the strings are so much bigger, I end up driving this bow even harder into it. I suppose maybe I should invest in a cello bow instead of this cheap viola bow that I've been using. But given the musician economy this year, I was happy to have strings on it. Let's see here. I got 2 more minutes. And that's it for the night. And of course, next weekend I will be playing not a virtual show. I'll be playing in real life out for the folks in Shelbyville, Indiana. So this will be goodbye for a short time. I will be back. I will be doing this as much as possible throughout the year. But I am not going to turn down the opportunity to play on a real stage for folks in person if possible. So if you want to support me, there is a PayPal link in the comments down below, or you can just PayPal to the email address of caleb@calebhawkins.com. We'll send funds almost immediately to me. And that helps keep the camera and the lights going and keep strings on these instruments. I want to remind everybody that kindness never goes out of style. When everybody is shoveling for gold, there's a lot of people out there selling shovels. And it seems like on the quest for truth, a lot of people are trying to cover it up. But kindness and the truth are 2 things that will never truly go away. I believe in what is kind and good. I believe that we should all look out for each other. God bless you, and everybody that looks like you. We'll see you next time. Good night, everybody.